Disassembly. Remove the stator through bolts. Heat the rear bearing seat for about 5 minutes until temperature reaches at 50 to 60 degrees Celsius, 129 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Separate the rear housing from the drive end housing. Be careful not to damage the stator inside. Leave the stator attached to the rear housing. Clamp the rotor in a soft-jawed vise. Remove the pulley lock nut. Remove the rotor from the housing using a puller. Inspect the rotor shaft and the bearing journal surface in the housing. If there is any burn or damage, replace the alternator. Remove the rear bearing using a puller. Remove the front bearing retainer plate from the housing. Drive out the front bearing using a bearing driver and hammer. Assembly. Install a front bearing using a bearing driver. Install a rear bearing using a bearing driver and press. Push the inner race of the bearing. Do not push the outer race. Install the drive side housing and the pulley to the rotor. Tighten the pulley lock nut by the specified torque. Remove any grease or oil from the slip rings. Push the brushes in, then insert a pin from outside and hold them there. Heat the rear bearing seat for about 5 minutes until temperature reaches at 50 to 60 degrees Celsius, 129 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Put the rear housing and the drive end housing rotor assembly together. Tighten the through bolts by the specified torque and pull the pin off. Turn the pulley by hand to check that the pulley smoothly turns without noise.